this select board meeting for February 28th to order. I'm 18, 10 days ahead of myself. We stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Power to the people. I said, yay, power to the people. We'd like to welcome our two guests to our select board meeting tonight. Thank you for coming. Do you have anything that you would like to ask or say before we...
Excuse me. The only issue that I wanted to talk about a little bit was the phone
Okay.
issue.
I think we will... If you're going to, are you going to stay for a while, or would
Sure.
you like to?
Oh, yeah,
Because
sure.
if you'd like to leave, we can take care of it now. If not, we can certainly take care of it during business.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, Chairman doesn't have any remarks today, except for we are going to go through the articles today and hand them out, and I want to take this time to thank everyone again for your hard work during the budget process. It was long and tedious at times, but I think we did a good job, so thank you. Okay, approval of minutes from February 4th.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of February 4th as presented. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have the treasurer's report. Everybody has signed the warrants.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve warrant 17 SG accounts payable $69,651.88, 6S payroll $14,131.43, 7S payroll $13,197.99.
It's been moved and seconded to approve warrants 17 SG accounts payable for $69,651.88, 6S payroll for $14,131.43, and 7S payroll for $13,197.99. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. We're just zipping right along here. Okay, you want to go on to the fraud policy? Has everybody had a chance to read this?
Pretty much.
Okay.
God, there was something I can't remember because I can't find mine, but I think everything was pretty much okay. There might have been a couple of things that I can't remember what they were. Maybe.
Remember brackets, the public account employed by the select board, instead of, could we just put an or there instead of brackets?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
And then on the back, it has a place for the select board to sign, but it's being adopted by the select board and the treasurer, so shouldn't it be a place for the treasurer to sign also?
Yeah.
And take out town manager.
Take out what, I'm sorry?
Town manager on page 2.
That's the one. Your town manager. And I knew right where to look too, Sandy, see? Went right to it.
Yeah.
There's two places for those brackets. You're talking both places. Am I
You want them
correct?
in both places, right? Or
The or.
yeah,
There's really 4 pages.
Actually, there's,
yeah. There's more in there.
yeah.
I think it was so you could put in your own if you wanted to put in your own, but I'll just change those all to or, right?
Yeah. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. Yep. 3 on the back, 2 on the front page.
Oh, yep, got it. I almost missed that one. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I would make a motion that we adopt the fraud prevention policy pursuant to status, the treasurer's approval.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the fraud prevention policy pursuant to the treasurer's approval.
Can we add a friendly amendment with the corrections?
Right.
Yes,
That's right.
with corrections made.
Mhm.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. I wanted to, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to get that in there before. Yeah, just to eye everything. Thank you.
All right, let's get to the assignment of articles. Thank you.
I'm trying. Too sugary.
Still can't find that.
We've got that finished.
Okay, we don't start till 9. Okay,
No, that article is normally asked by the auditors. Am I correct? Wouldn't that be Carol Hammond, being that she's, I mean, I don't know, because they're the ones,
I think the board has done it before.
they have, but every year I say the same thing. So I just didn't want to miss a year.
does that mean that you would like the auditors to?
No, not necessarily. Yeah. I just, they used to, and I just, you know.
I mean, that's totally, doesn't, go
Mhm.
ahead.
Okay.
I should probably do some of the ones at first because I don't know how long I'll.
I was going to ask you
Say.
that because I didn't know if you were, because you had said the other day that you didn't think you were going to make town meeting
Well, they
at all.
thought, they were telling me nights, that I'd be working nights. Now they've switched me back to days, but there's still plenty of time to switch back to nights. So, but I think that maybe if I do some of the ones at first.
Okay, and if you take some of the easier ones, not that any of the articles don't matter, I don't mean it that way. But then that way, if by chance you don't make it, and somebody else has to do
Right.
your articles, there's not
Yes.
a ton of research to go
Yes.
along with it. Because, some of the articles, you really have to do your homework before the
That's
articles,
right.
so, because you know you're going to get questions.
Mm-hmm. That's a good
So, I
idea.
think that means you want the committee for Memorial Day, Bobby?
Yep.
How about giving him the 1, 2, 3, right up to 13?
Well, the library does.
Oh, no, the library does
their
theirs.
own.
I see the library's in there.
I'll do 10, 11, and 12.
9, 10, 11.
No, 10.
Jeff
that's-
was doing 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
And the library will do
12
12.
and 13.
12 and
Would be the
13 is
libraries.
Bobby's.
14 is the libraries, and 15 is the libraries,
Yeah.
and 16 is the library.
Why have so many?
Well, because they have to choose library trustees for different terms.
Oh, wow, are they, that many is coming up?
No, they had some that resigned.
Oh, unexpired, yep. Okay.
I can do 17.
Okay. Okay, 18, Elderly Assistance Fund.
I might as well do that too.
Well, we don't have that many, Bobby.
You guys can have the rest.
Well, yeah, wouldn't Mary Lynn do that one?
Not usually, no, it's done by the select board. It's
Okay.
spoken to by the elderly assistants, but it's done, the actual beginning reading of the articles is done by the select
I
board.
know, but
and
it
then-
used to be, other people that were on the committees and stuff like that would read their own articles. But
I don't
that's,
remember that, I always remember this.
Long time ago they did.
Sometimes
Yeah,
they do,
long time
sometimes
ago.
they don't.
yeah. And that's all right by me, it does not matter.
minutes of this whole thing, so I probably won't read any.
Okay, so that, yeah, so we really do have to fill you up, Bobby, in the beginning, because we'll have to take all the ones in the end.
It'll start bogging down on Article 20.
Yeah, I'll do 20 if you want.
Usually takes a while.
So is Bobby doing Article 19?
Yes.
You were here for all of that discussion, right, Bobby?
Mm-hmm.
And then Chris is going to take Article 20?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to have a paper ballot prepared just in case for
Yes.
everything?
Is Noreen going to be doing town clerk stuff?
She'll be checking people in.
Are you going to read the warning and everything still? Good.
Okay, Music Scholarship? Town Copier Fund?
Yeah, I'll do it. I mean, I don't care. You can just go ahead and sign whatever.
Vernon Capital Plan is done by the capital plan, by the capital plan,
But
by the finance committee. But now, I think the select board still reads it off, and then
And then they stand up and
They
give their
speak.
speech.
I mean, if you're gonna stick to that rule, then I think you should stick to that
That's
rule.
what you
yeah.
did last year.
I'll do that one.
Well, then why don't you do the next one too then? Oh, no, yeah, because it all has to do with the capital plan. 1, 2, 3 of them right in a row.
Okay.
Town road upgrading and the parking lots.
Is Sheldon going to be there for?
I think so, yes, Sheldon and Mary Lynn will both do that one.
I don't mind doing the next two, because I can work with David, and he'll be there to answer the questions.
Also, too, could you send a memo out to the town department heads? Thank you. And remind them that they all have to be at town meeting. So if there are any questions about their departments, they're there to answer them. See if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $80,000 to replenish the professional services fund. I'll do this one, but we may have to have the listers speak to it also, because a lot of money has come out of that fund for
Yep.
the Belco TransCanada, so they're gonna have to speak to it. So, if you wanna send an email to Carol also, and ask her to be prepared to speak to the money that's been used in the professional services fund for,
N29, right?
yep.
Somebody's trying to get in here.
Oh, the door's locked.
No, I mean, somebody's calling. They don't know this extension, so they're just,
Let me go grab it.
can't grab it from here.
To see if the town will raise and appropriate the sum of $394,000.
Are you doing both 28 and 29, Patty?
29, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do the controversial. 30, does anybody want to do 30?
You just tell me
I don't care.
who's doing 29?
I am.
Thank you.
Jeff, it's between you and I, actually. I don't mind doing it, or you can do it, whichever. Okay. No, I don't mind at all. You want to do the picnic fun? It looks simpler.
Also,
Looks
too-
can be deceiving.
Yes, exactly right, especially on that one.
You never know.
Right?
Yeah.
Also, too, I think,
I can do the next 32 and 33.
Okay.
Oops.
You know, this is much better where we do two or three at a time, because before it was like, he would do one, I would do one, somebody else would do one, and it's like past that microphone back and forth is kind of like, a little bit too much, so just, yes, I think so.
okay, the Southeastern Vermont Economic Development Strategies.
Well, Martin's gonna talk about it,
He's going
right?
to talk about it, but we're going to just read the article and get it started, so,
Why don't you do the next three?
okay.
Because that's establishing a new fund, and you're the one that suggested it, so you could talk on it.
Actually, Sally
Sally
suggested it.
Okay. Okay, so let's go right to the top. Okay, that,
Okay, and the next one, first it establishes it and then it puts money in, so I'll do those.
which one's that? The
Okay.
36, right? You want me to do 37, 38, and 39? Might as well end it, right? I did those last year, those two.
Okay.
And actually, Tim will probably do that last one, 39, so I won't do it, because he always does. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. Mhm.
Okay, so,
Boy, that number 30 is kind of, that's that new one. You want to take that
that's the
instead?
retirement fund, I
Yeah.
have it. Oh.
No, Article 30. Why don't you take that one, too?
Sure, why don't you just give me all the ones that people are
You
gonna-
said, didn't she say she would take the controversial ones? Everybody heard you.
No, I said I have the controversial ones. I said I would take them.
Well, you got it now.
Geez, you might as well just stay home, Chris.
I got a lot, excuse me. 1, 2,
Okay,
3,
so,
4.
I suggest that all of you read back up on the retirement fund issue and the reserve fund, because you have to all be able to answer your questions too. Because some people don't necessarily want to stand up at town meeting and ask the questions, so we might get questions outside of that forum that we
Well-
need to be able to answer.
Well, actually, I mean, if you want me to, I don't mind reading it, because I know Sally's going to be
No, that's fine,
explaining
I
it.
got it. That's fine, I'm just teasing, I don't care.
Because she is going to be the
She's
one
gonna
that
be the one to
explaining
speak
it
on
anyway.
And,
Yeah,
you know, we'll explain the VLCT portion of it and stuff.
yeah.
It sounds a whole lot more confusing than it actually is once you get down into it, so. Okay. Boy, that was easy.
And everybody was present, so we didn't have to assign them.
That's because
All of
everybody
them.
knows better.
I did
than
that.
We did
was
that, I know
tonight.
we did. We did, too.
They loaded me right up.
Yep.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, someone had called and said they couldn't hear the board meeting at home. I don't know if there's an issue with the volume, but I just wanted to let you know.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if there's any problem with that, but. Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
Hey, Matt,
Yes, sir.
while you're here, we've said this a few times when you weren't here, but seeing that you're here right in front of us today, we want to thank you for the great job you do.
Yes,
You know, we've gotten
absolutely.
wonderful comments about you and the job that you're doing, and we want you to know how much we really appreciate it, so thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Looks like it's fine.
Are they both on?
They're both up.
What is that gray one that's down? That don't mean nothing? Yeah. Because I always turn it all up. Of course, I messed them all up before, so. Maybe you don't want to take my advice.
She
But
just
hey, if they're
smiled.
not
She didn't
working.
say anything.
I didn't She
say
didn't.
anything.
Of course she was.
Okay, let's go to the personnel policies. Oh, and let me give you a couple updates. Somebody, I can't remember which one of you asked me about the union. Okay. I emailed the representative way before Christmas, I can't remember, it was sometime in December, all of the things that we had talked about, and then I never heard from him again. So I forwarded back the email, the original email I sent to him, and asked him where we were, and then I did get, I got a question that I forwarded to you, because I wanted to make sure we were all on the same page, answered his question, and then he got back to me and said that he would write it up and get back to me, but I haven't heard anything. And I think when you were the one who asked me about I forward to Sandy the original document that I sent in December, so that,
We have a
people all
record,
know that
yes.
these emails have gone out. I just have gotten no answers, so that's where we stand. And there was one other thing that somebody had asked me about.
If I asked, I've forgotten already.
Well, oh, the ordinances.
Right.
I have this, because I did recontact the attorney again, and he sent me back the stuff that we had done in June. Here it is right here. And we've already gone over this, so I don't know what the holdup is. I need a couple more papers over here.
I thought there was one or two that we had.
Sent up to, there was.
We sent him back the whole thing with all our notes.
With all the notes on it, you sent him back the whole thing.
And he said he doesn't have it.
Does he check his junk mail? I mean, I've noticed that a lot of my stuff have been going to junk mail lately. I don't know why. Is it maybe something to do
He
with
did tell me
Comcast? I
at
don't
one
know.
time, because I had been emailing him and not hearing from
Mine's
him, and I
something
called.
about other.
And he found a couple of
Yeah.
my emails in spam, so,
what it is.
if you want to resend that, because I really would like this, I mean,
Yeah.
we worked on this hard a long time ago, and it should be done.
Yeah.
And it certainly isn't anything that, on our end, that's holding it up, so, it's getting a little frustrating at this
Okay.
point.
I'll resend it to him.
Thank you. And what we need to do is, we need to know how to warn it and get it taken care of. Okay, so, before we go back to another policy that started and not finished, what do you think would be the best way to handle this? Just go through it, or is everybody ready?
Well, I'm not ready, because, Katrina and I started this a long time ago, but we never finished it. And I thought that what we had to go by was Brattleboro, and it was a lot of Brattleboro stuff. So, I mean, even though I've gone through this, I think that, one or two of us, or all of
Oh, I don't
us.
think we're ready to pass this tonight.
Oh, no.
Absolutely, that's not what it meant.
No, it was just a
But I think it'd
discussion.
be too long to be, if one or two of us worked on it and then presented it back to the board.
I can tell you where you left off. So
I
what we
can
did-
too, I've
Yeah,
got mine,
what we
but-
did was we took Brattleboro's and the state of Vermont's and combined certain aspects of both to come up with what we had then presented a while back now to the board for them to look at. And it was quite big. It was quite lengthy, and it has a lot to it. You don't want to miss anything. And then Sandy came back and said, just recently, came back and said, why are we recreating the wheel? And there, VLCT has one on their website. And so we pulled that off, and she pulled that off and sent it around via email for you guys to look at. So what you have now in front of you is the VLCT one that was on, that has been sent around by email, but was also on their website. It is considerably less and might not contain everything that you want in it, and it certainly would need adapting to what you guys decide that you want to have or not have.
What we need to do is we need to take the personnel policy that we have in place right now and go, I know as tedious as it may sound, page by page by page, or section by section by section, to compare and to see how we want it to be in here. And I don't mind being on that thing, but I'd like to get it done.
Yeah, me too. Me too, so, however you want to work it. Either you and I, Chris, can spend some time, or you and I don't know how much time you have with town meeting coming up. Okay.
No, I don't mind.
For me, it would be better to do it a couple evenings, because
That's fine with me.
then I don't have to take
And
time out of
this
the
is
office.
this is the one you currently have.
It's better for me too. Right now, I'm going through that program still. And
Now, is that all right with everyone else? Because I just never, I hate when people feel like they're being kind of
Fine with
left out of
me.
the process.
I'm obviously not gonna
More efficient.
go through all,
Okay.
every page.
All right.
Smaller.
Didn't want to
Red
make
summer,
that
right?
decision without the rest of the board deciding it
Do you
too.
want a motion to
I
that?
like this.
I don't think we need a motion. I think a consensus is okay for that one. So Chris and I will get together, and it probably will take us a couple of weeks, right, Chris?
Oh, absolutely.
But we should
It
be able,
shouldn't be
but
long.
it shouldn't be months dragging on as it has
No,
been.
because what I'll do is I'll get started before you come, and then my little notes, whatever, because I've already done that. So, I'll show you my comparison and stuff like that, what I've got, just about done.
You can sit in the parking lot while your
could.
spouse is shopping and read it.
Yeah, you could do that.
That's how you do it, huh, Bob?
That's
Except
exactly
does.
what I
I'd be
do.
the one shopping, so that wouldn't work at all.
Yeah.
I could sit and read it while he's watching his sports shows, but not shopping. Also, unfinished business. Janet, would you like to come up, please, and talk about what's happening with the phones?
I'm not sure what's happening with the phones. When we started, the project that you all signed off on was just to move all of the Fairpoint telephone lines to Comcast. Poor Sally has been inundated with questions, with IT questions, and called in the IT consultant who originally put all the computer lines in. And there have apparently been a lot of problems with moving the computer part of the project over, which we don't need to do.
Right, because it's already Comcast.
The library has their own computer system. The police department, I believe, has their own. We don't care. We have no idea what the computer systems are, and it's not a part of the project. If you want the same computer system that you've already had, you just keep it. If you'd like to move to Comcast, you can, because TV, cable, and phone all came on their triple play business class package. So if you choose to move, you can, but you don't have to, and it would probably be a lot simpler if you don't.
Yeah, just
We
leave
already
it.
have Comcast.
Well, some
On
do,
some.
The
don't.
library apparently doesn't. I guess they're getting a fiber optic cable of some sort in for their computer use. The police department, I think, has switched what they chose to switch. But everybody's sort of all over the map with this at this point. The IT person is talking to Comcast. Everybody's talking to Sally. Sally doesn't understand the process, nor should she. And at this point, the entire switchover has been delayed forever. Comcast has put the whole project on hold. So I just wanted to make sure that what I think needs to happen is what you all thought needed to happen, which is just get the Fairpoint lines away from Fairpoint onto Comcast and move on.
Now, how did the library fit into this? There was something about the library besides the internet. Wasn't there something else about the library and the phones?
The library, the library was concerned that they have a phone line that apparently is not a Fairpoint line, nor is it a Comcast line. It's a SovereignNet line of some sort that they wanted to keep, and they were concerned that they would lose it. They can keep it.
Well, they have a SovereignNet line because that's what their internet provider
That's what
is.
Yeah, and that's
it used
fine.
to be. I don't know if it is it still.
Well, I think under the Department of Libraries, they're coming in with this new fiber optics, but I think that's where that's coming from. And I've
Okay.
been away from Montpelier for a while, so I'm not positive, but I think that was in the talking stage when I was still there.
Okay. And there was a concern, the IT person had a concern about the fire department because they had special needs, but the fire department's already on Comcast.
Right.
They've been on Comcast for a number of years now, apparently, so it's really not an issue. The only lines that we left out was the rec department, because they have a weird jump line to the school, and that just became too complicated. So all I'd like to do is try to get this back to just the phones, get it switched over so Sally only gets one bill, and that's the
That, I
end.
thought that was what it was supposed to be. Leave the
It was.
computers alone.
That's exactly right.
Who's the one that didn't understand that?
I don't know.
So did this start in the library?
No, I believe it started when Sally called the IT person in, who may have misunderstood I have never spoken to him. I've tried to
He
get a
still
hold of
hasn't
him.
called you back?
No. So I think when he got involved, it got a lot more complicated, because I think he was under the assumption, because I know he talked to the installation crew, and they started talking about moving computer lines
Yeah,
and
we
putting in
weren't talking about
cables and.
computers.
Right.
You had talked about modems,
Modems, but
Computer lines.
but
Right.
is that,
That's Comcast.
right, and that is on Comcast. I know you had talked about a bunch of modems that are in your office that were going to be able to go away at that point.
Right.
That was the
We-
only
yeah,
reference to.
right,
the
but
computer.
that
that
right?
was,
Yeah,
that was,
I remember
okay.
that.
Yeah,
That was the
that was-
only reference to
right, that
to
was
the
not to
computers.
say that they were to come in and rip everything out and let's start anew.
And
No.
recreate the wheel,
It was-
exactly,
Right, it
exactly.
wasn't that at all.
And that
It was
only,
just,
that conversation only started happening when the IT person came in.
Yeah,
So now, can you call Comcast and tell them that the computers have nothing to do with this and we want them to come back? Or will they
Yes.
not come back now until this IT person says it's okay?
I don't know. I was waiting until
Well,
this
this
evening
IT
to
person
talk to
doesn't
you
have the
guys.
authority to say what's gonna happen and what's not gonna
Yes,
happen
he-
in this town.
yes.
Yeah,
You're
and
absolutely
somehow
right.
he has become the contact person, and I'm not sure how that happened either. But I will certainly call Comcast, email Comcast, and let them know that this is all about the telephones.
Just the phone lines.
And try to get in touch with the consultant, and ask him to just
Back off.
back off.
Absolutely. Yeah, because he has no
The price
right.
that you're quoted, I mean, it's not any cheaper to just do the phone lines without the computer. I mean, it's the same price no matter what.
Absolutely.
So
So if everybody,
what's holding it up is the concern about trying to get all the computers, which it's not.
What's holding it up now is the IT guy is now giving Comcast a whole heart.
So, yeah, I just say, contact Comcast and say we want to get these phone lines switched over. That's it. Don't worry about this other stuff.
okay,
And
Exactly.
if he doesn't wanna, if the IT guy doesn't wanna talk with you, maybe Sally or Sandy could get a hold of him and just tell him.
I think Sally knows him, so
Yeah.
if I can't get in touch with him, I'll,
Now, who is the IT guy?
Bill Verman, right?
no, they
Is that-
said Mike Tetro?
Mike
Mike
Tatro.
Mike Tetro, yes.
Works for Bill.
Well, yeah,
Which sort of confused me,
Yeah.
because when we all talked about this, you know, we pulled the phone bills from Sally's office.
yeah, that's,
If this person was involved with the telephone system to begin with and needed to be brought in, we were happy to bring him in. I'm not a telephone
he
expert.
shouldn't have been brought in.
He's
Who
not at
brought him
all
in?
involved.
He is involved in the telephones, because he's the one that sets up
That's
when we do
right.
the numbers, you know, to roll over your numbers and stuff. So if you dial 0292, you're going to be able to roll over to the next number.
Okay,
So he is an independent, but I think he's confused thinking the computers are switching to.
okay,
It just needs to be clarified, I think.
okay.
Now, you called him and left a message, though, he hasn't called you back?
Right. And Sally, Sally has asked him a few times to call me as well, and I've not heard from him either. So I will try again, and I will also contact Comcast, the person who I dealt with at Comcast, and just tell them it's just all about the telephones, just switch the telephones. The most that any department should have to do is re-record their message. That should be absolutely it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
came in one day and Sally was, you know, she was inundated with work and it was, you know, I feel so
Right, and there are
bad.
people wandering all over the place.
Yes,
getting
I felt so
confusing
bad.
one
It was
another.
the day of the drill, and I came over and dropped off some bills and stuff, and I really felt bad for her. She was really going crazy about, you know, because people just kept coming in and, you know, talking with her about it and stuff like that, and, you know, she was trying to say it's just the phones, and,
Well, number one, if Comcast is coming into the building and changing over phone lines, that would be Mike's job, not Sally's, because Mike is the buildings and general maintenance here. Sally doesn't
Yep.
have anything to do with
Right.
any of that, so maybe when you talk to Comcast, you should tell them to, if they have questions and they need help, to ask for
Oh, to
Mike
interface with
Coughlin
Mike Coughlin,
instead of the treasurer. I mean, that's a little unfair to her to have to
Sure.
expect her to
Absolutely.
step up to the position of wiring phones.
Okay.
yeah, I know.
I don't even think
Enough
that's
of
covered
it.
under HR.
I know, enough's enough with that. I mean, I felt so bad for her.
Okay, so I will get in touch with Comcast, with Mike Coughlin, and hopefully with Mike Tatro. Stephen, or whatever his name is. Okay.
And if you can't, could you call him and tell him to?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all your hard work. I'm sorry you and Sally went through all of this.
Yes,
I just want to get it done.
yeah, absolutely. You've done a great
Okay.
job.
All right, new business.
I had something under unfinished business.
Oh, you did?
Yes, a while ago, we had talked about the, assistant treasurer and the maintenance supervisor. And we had, I think there was only 4 of us here. And we never voted we never decided whether they were gonna get their money from July 1st,
Retroactive.
2012, or if it was gonna be 2013, or if it was gonna be from when we made the motion. We never finished that.
Yeah, and I think what happened is that, I think the general consensus was, well, let's have the discussion. Because I was under the understanding the general consensus was that we had voted that night.
Well, I think Sandy was out. She was sick, and so it was like we were not all on the same.
Well, we didn't discuss it that night. It came out in an email from the treasurer the next day. It was not at all discussed the night we decided to go to the other grade. So we got an email the next day asking if this was gonna be retroactive.
right.
Or if it was
Yeah,
going to be in
that's right.
next year's
You're
budget.
right.
And basically, the answers I was given was, we all thought when we were voting on this that it's next year's budget. And so let's have that conversation.
I actually thought it was this year's budget, in this time, from July 1. It would be only from July 1, 2012, not retroactive when everybody was, because that was my confusion. I think.
That was what they wanted to know, is if we were gonna go back to when we had made the changes last year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I didn't think that. I was thinking July 1st, 2012.
She's retroactive.
Yeah, but I thought,
Last July.
right, and
But not the year before.
not the year before, because that was the year before when we did that, but
And I had thought that it would be
right
from when we made the motion.
And I thought next July.
I thought it was from the new I mean, we made the motion when we were talking in the new budget, so my assumption was we were talking about in the new budget cycle.
but wasn't it already done? Hasn't it already been taken care of?
No, we never finished.
I know, but we did make the motion
motion-
to do those grade adjustments.
Yes,
But I don't know, has it been started already, like, assuming that it was from that moment on, if we said it wasn't retroactive? Or did it halt the
It
minute?
halted.
Are you sure?
yes.
Because I don't know that.
No, it halted.
I never thought it was supposed to go on. I thought it wasn't supposed to start until
Yeah, yeah, I
next
know.
budget.
Yeah,
So, I don't think it's gone, it started yet.
I don't know.
I know we never made a final decision.
No,
And I know that Sandy was out. She had a couple of meetings that she missed.
She was sick.
Yes.
because we discussed that money that was there.
You might not have been here either. Maybe you were.
Well, I've been here
Or
since,
maybe you were here and you weren't.
No.
no, I was
Somebody
here.
wasn't here.
No, I was here.
Because I remember it was a split, kind of split
Because it was
decision.
after November, and so, and I was on the mend then, so.
My recollection of it was, we discussed it I thought for next year's budget. So it's not something that should have started yet. And I didn't think that the discussion hadn't made a decision because we voted that night to do
What
what we
was our
did.
motion? Can you tell us,
I was
please?
just gonna go back and see if we can give an idea of the date.
I'm thinking sometime in November. And I went home early at one of them, I went home early, so let's see, November, because,
You know what, I think maybe we should go into executive session.
Madam Chair,
Ms. Howard?
I move that we go into executive session. Should we bring in our secretary or no? With
That
for
would
the
be okay,
information?
but if we're gonna start talking about, an employee's raises and stuff, we really, in case a name comes out or something by accident, we should be in executive session.
All right, so with until she finds our thing,
Yeah.
and then we'll ask her to leave. Okay, with our secretary, until that time, on a personnel matter, the disclosure of which at this time might be detrimental to the town and/or individuals involved.
I'll second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded to go into executive session with Katrina on a personnel issue, the disclosure of which at this time might be detrimental to the town and/or individuals involved. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. And I'm sorry, Katrina, I didn't use your name. I couldn't
Sorry.
think of it right off the top of my...
I think we are all done budget stuff.
You're on.
We came out into executive session at
7:10?
7:10, coming back out at 7:43. Oh, no action taken. Sandy?
Madam Chair, I make a motion to go into executive session under possible.
We got a motion to make
Oh,
first.
sorry, wrong.
First.
Okay, I make a motion that we move the head custodian from a grade 7 to a grade 9, and that all grade adjustments be effective as of July 1st, 2013.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to move the maintenance supervisor's grade from a 7 to a 9 and make all new grade adjustments effective July 1st. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. I think that's...
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we go into executive session on possible litigation at law, the disclosure of this time, which may be detrimental to the town and/or individuals involved.
Would that be contractual? Oh, pending litigation, okay, sorry. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session on a pending litigation matter, the disclosure of which at this time might be detrimental to the town and/or individuals involved. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Don't, because I always get
We went into executive
trouble.
session at 7:44. No action taken. Oh, came out at 8:44. No action taken.
David has some new business.
Oh,
we have a motion to make first, don't
oh
we?
yes. Let us just make it a motion.
Madam Chair, I move that we restrict activity at the fire department after 10 o'clock to how do I want to put that? They may be there, but to be respectful to the neighbors and shut the lights down and go downstairs. I mean, I don't, keep the noise down after 10 or completely out of there. How should I word that?
Well, do we want to restrict it after 10, or do we want to tell them they can be there after 10 and keep the noise down? They're two different things.
I would think after 10, as long as they keep the noise down. And there's no more complaints.
Okay.
For voluntary activities, you mean? Or not, obviously not.
Non-emergency.
Non-emergency activities.
Non-emergencies, yeah.
So restrict non-emergency activities? Let's see.
Yeah, that's what you would say.
Activities.
Yeah, they can be there, but they're to keep the noise down, lights down, and, you know,
After
there's a
10
place
p.m.
downstairs they can go, or whatever. I don't.
Do we really need a motion
Do
for
we-
that, or should we just send the police chief
Fire chief?
Yeah,
fire
let's,
chief, I'm sorry, an email telling him that after 10 o'clock at night, the noise, the fire station is to be quiet.
unless there's an emergency.
And if they can't be there without disrupting the neighbors, they will not be allowed to be there after 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Thank you. I don't think we
Does
need
that sound
So
okay?
no motion, good.
No motion.
So they're on warning. Next time we say no more after 10.
We did this one, right? After the last one.
The step grades? Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
done.
We did that already. David, I apologize. Had I realized, we would have gone out of order. I thought you were just coming to visit us. We would have gone out of order and taken you before the executive session.
This is on roads and bridge standards for the state
Uh-huh.
yearly. The only thing they've added is stones and seeding and ditches, and they've actually finally included pavement in there, so if anything happens.
So, Madam Chair, I move that we adopt the Town of Vernon Bridge Standards. Roads and bridge standards.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the town road and bridge standards for the town of Vernon. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Uh, 18? I write the date all day long at work, and nighttime comes and I can never remember what the date is. It's like I close the office door and forget.
Don't smudge up my beautiful signature, please.
Look at mine, all sloppy. It's
Memo.
legible.
It's fine.
Are there guidelines, for example, of installing guardrails, if you just can't come put a guardrail up, just because it looks like a good place?
Yeah, the state's actually covered that in that one last year. There's a book on it.
Is,
And we're not,
not a neighboring town, but one close by.
we're not,
It looks like they're-
we're not meeting again, are we? No.
I was thinking we had one more. The month is going by so fast now.
Oh, I was wondering, did we,
So the next one is town meeting.
This is it for me.
March 4th, it should be March
Yes, there
5th.
is a-
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sometime we ought to think about putting a guardrail on Scott Road on that corner by the pond.
yeah.
I know when you're trying to get a guardrail in on a state road, it's, you have to really, you talk about moving mountains. It's amazing. I was shocked at how difficult it is to get a guardrail. Route 5.
Oh,
The
Route 5
people that-
rolling down here, they
And how many-
still haven't been in.
No, well, that was there, and they wanted it removed. That's what happened there. But the one on Route 5, poor people had cars in their, literally into their house, and still it took moving a mountain to get a guardrail. It took actual legislative action to get a guardrail. Unbelievable.
So-
Where was this, Betty?
On Route 5 in Guilford.
So, for example, where in Government Road, where we had a number of accidents over the years, what would it take to get the state to
Act of
actually?
Congress in Montpelier.
That's what it would take.
It
I mean,
is,
I mean, people have to,
Well,
these
that's
people
what I
had
was
to,
talking about. People down there have tried.
yeah.
Oh,
Many times before. But before that, remember, before you get to the Y at the south side of Governor Hunt, they had a guardrail in when they redid the road there.
Yep,
And
it's a part of it.
people wanted it taken out because that's how they got the camper in and out. I still think it's a very dangerous spot right there, but
I think lower is more dangerous than up there where they put the boat or whatever it was in and out of there, but right where Thomas's and the Boyces are.
Yeah.
I always thought, because you're coming around that corner, and that's where a lot of accidents have been, gone right over into there. I mean, we even had a death right there. But I know this corner, when you do that, take that corner sometimes, that's really a deep hole right there too, and I think that might, somehow,
this one in
I don't
Guilford,
know, I just worry about
literally,
that.
they had 2 cars go right into their house. The second one, the kids were asleep in the bedroom and just missed them. And still, it was amazing trying to get a guardrail there. I mean, we finally got it, but
well, I'll tell you, we had a, right where my house has always been, quite close to the road anyway, but they come around that corner onto West Road from Pond Road, going 90 miles an hour, cut that corner. Well, one night, somebody did, I had broke my hand, and that's why I was up that time of night, and I heard this one wicked crash, and they came right around, and my bedroom was right there, and they came around swirling and whatever, and went right in and hit the extension, what used to be my ceramic shop, wiped out my tree, wiped out my, it was horrible, and I got gas things there and everything. Yes, I don't know what to do about that.
What would it take to get that right on 142 south end of Governor Hunt, where we've had all these accidents in that ledge? What would it take to get that section of road
Can we write them a
It's all
letter?
done,
run for governor of Vermont, or?
it's all done by
Yes.
the pitch of
You need to.
the road and the gully, how deep it is, and there's a certain
Yep.
standard that has to be met, and if it doesn't meet that standard, and in all fairness to the Agency of Transportation, every legislator wants a guardrail somewhere in their town, you know, so it does become a very difficult thing. There's only so much money in state coffers and only so many guardrails that they can buy, so they have set a real strict standard as to what can and
that's
cannot.
ridiculous.
And if this car hadn't gone off the road and landed in this house, just when we were trying to get the guardrail, we still wouldn't have that guardrail, and it was very dangerous.
But I think
The
that's.
best thing to do is get a hold of District Two and get them to come down
And they'll
and
measure
meet
it and
with
they'll
them
say
and keep
no.
going, and
But I mean, I think that section road would take a little more than the guardrail. Or,
there should be something down there.
Which section we talking about now?
the ledge right there, the south end of Governor Hunt Road, and then you just keep going down all the way past the town garage almost.
I would absolutely say that, for sure.
I mean, you know,
Especially across from Pond Road.
I mean, again, we found.
We had a
that
death there.
The center of town is bisected right there.
Mhm.
I mean, buses had this, on the way to school,
Yep.
were there for what, an hour and a half?
Yep.
Couldn't get to school, kids are on the school bus.
I know.
Because of that choke point right there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, I also think that there should be some kind of a warning light on the railroad tracks at Bemis Road. I mean, they don't have to have bars that come down, but at least a light that flashes to let people know that there's a train coming, because the Amtrak train comes fast, and it's not loud. When you're in that area, it is not loud, and, you know, we've already had a tragic death because of it, you know, but again, it's like an act of kindness to try to get the railroad company to put a light in if they don't have to.
Well, I mean, somebody shouldn't have to die. because
I know.
it's the-
I know, I
It
agree.
should be a preventative, but, I mean, just that section, that road is so bad through.
Well, you know, this is our last meeting of this year, but when we reconvene after election, we can certainly start working on it and see what we can do.
I think it would help to investigate.
They put turtle crossings in all the way down through.
Yeah, but this is Vermont, we have to protect our endangered species, we don't
Oh.
have to worry about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Don't worry about the people.
No,
Save them turtles.
Good.
It's really humans,
those spotted turtles are protected, but the humans aren't.
so. That's where I'd start, I'd talk to
like
them
the-
and see.
Irrigation system in California,
talk to them.
because there was a little bacteria.
Come visit you.
We can get working on it, I'd be happy to do that,
Mm.
get Mike involved.
I mean, it appears it would take quite a bit of money. But again,
I wouldn't even, you know, I don't think that's that expensive, you know, for the town. We can't put it up on a state road. We have to have their permission to do it, even if we were willing to pay for the guardrail ourselves, we can't do it. So. David, thank you. And I know you've been working very, very hard lately. It's, we just seem to get slammed one after another, and I just want to thank you and the entire road crew for the great job that you do.
I made
A lot of
it
hours
by.
last time. The last one was a lot of hours.
My daughter just moved to Boston beginning of December. You should see the pictures on her Facebook. Bicycles out there, you can't even, all you can see is the top of the handlebar, that's it, the whole bicycle. All in a
Oh,
row,
my.
you know how they have those bicycle racks? All in a row, you can see all these handles. And that's it. So,
That'd be cute.
so
A
thank
lot of the
you.
lanes were only, one lane was open instead of two.
It's okay.
You did a
That's-
great job.
Did a great job, absolutely.
Great job. You know, I'm always proud of the fact that Vernon's one of those towns, no matter how bad the roads are, we can drive. May have to go
Try.
slow, but we can drive,
Yep,
so,
you'll get there.
thank you.
You're welcome.
I made him up. What did you do?
That's, I think, the end of our agenda tonight, but before we close, this is the last meeting we will be having before town meeting, so we have elections coming up. I hope everyone goes out and votes. We have a good group of candidates that are running, and the town functions well when good people get elected. So please go out and vote. I'm sure the Reformer will be doing an article about who's running for what positions, and you know, you can follow it through there. And also, this is going to be the last meeting that Bobby Miller is going to be attending as a select board member. I'm sure he'll come back to visit us again. And it's been how many years, Bobby?
7.
7 years. And on behalf of the board and the town of Vernon, I want to thank you very much for your dedication to the town and the hard work that you've put in over the past 7 years. You've been a very valuable asset to this board. Even if we haven't always agreed 100% on every issue, that's what democracy is all about, and you know, you've certainly made your points well known, and you've worked very hard for the town to make it a better place, so thank you very much.
You're welcome, and thank you, and thanks all the voters for putting me here for 7 years.
Good luck to you. And
You
I hope you
too.
do come back and visit us.
Oh, I will. I'll be back.
Okay.
It'll be much, much easier for me to sit out there and heckle you.
They'll sit back there laughing. So, thank you, thank everyone, and motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
You didn't,
Aye.
the media.
I'm sorry, before we adjourn. Michael, I am so sorry.
I think-
You sit there and smile at us all night long. You'd think I'd remember to say, do you have any questions?
I wonder, just a couple quick bullet points. The first one being something that I should have followed up with before. I missed a couple of meetings. It's my understanding the whole trash discussion, the garbage discussion has been pushed off because there's not a looming deadline? Or?
Yeah, no, it is. We probably, from what we've been told by Waste Management, we're the only town that's really starting to already move on this, so we're way ahead of other towns. We try to get everything done for town meeting, and we just weren't able to get enough information as far as dollars and cents and logistics of the law and so forth. So Bob Spencer and Mike Quartermach are working with Mike Hebert and Wyndham Waste and Triple T to try to figure out what the best direction is for Vernon to go. We're still going to hold a public forum. Probably, we've moved it to probably April. And if we need to have a special town meeting to appropriate money for it, we will. But I think we're going to be able to make it in on next year's deadline budget before we actually hit the deadline date. A lot of towns are struggling with it because it's totally different than what they've been providing. We really don't have, we weren't given enough time to be able to do the things we needed to do properly. So we figured rather than to go in town meeting and not have the answers to people's questions, we were better to slow it down and have a special town meeting if we needed to, but make sure that we had the facts and figures.
And that may not even be necessary. You might be able to wait till the next town meeting to do it, or you're not sure.
2014.
Yeah, we're going to have to address it in our budget by 2014.
Yeah.
So we may be able to just sneak through in the next year's town meeting.
So that you didn't have to settle on, transfer station or whatever. You just didn't have to make that decision.
No, we're still, and they're still actually doing some research into all of the different options. The transfer station is one option, but there are other options. There's pay-as-you-throw, there's not doing anything, not providing any kind of service and let people either buy their own service or go to a dump. So there are other options that are out there, but we need to know what all of the options are to make sure that we're providing for every letter of the law, but not doing what we don't have to do either, because we don't need the taxpayers to be paying for something we don't have to do. So I think it's kind of clearing up the law. I think, from what Mike said, they're going to be still discussing it a little bit in Montpelier, because towns are having a hard time with it. So rather than to go out in front of everybody and make the wrong decisions, we felt it was better to slow it down a bit.
Just two other quick bullet points. One was the fraud policy that you approved tonight, this is sort of a standard, one-size-fits-all kind of thing that is going to do.
It is. It was actually suggested by Vermont League of Cities and Towns for all towns to pass this, and that's actually where the language came from, too.
I don't mind giving him my copy.
Yeah, I
if
got
can
an
find-
extra copy.
Okay.
You can have a copy, give her.
And then the last thing, I suppose there's been some complaints about noise at the fire department, is that the reason for that?
There has been. You know, unfortunately, the fire department's in the middle of a neighborhood, and voices carry late at night, and sometimes when you're there and you're working, you don't realize how loud it can be. So it was just kind of a heads up, you know, it's noisy over there, so you have to be quiet. If you're gonna be at the fire department, even working on a truck, close the bay doors and keep it quiet. And if that can't be done, then we're going to have to limit the time that people can be at the fire station for non-emergency issues.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.